Good morning, everyone. We're only 45 minutes away from the start of the Nintendo Direct. I am joined by Nick to react and talk all about whatever the hell Nintendo's going to show, including in our pre-show right now. We'll go even over even more predictions. Nick, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm excited. I saw someone in the chat say they're feeling cautiously optimistic about today. But my feelings are, even if I don't get anything today, we have next week. We have a few days to wait till the Switch 2 Direct, so I'm happy either way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what they show here. I'll be completely honest. I feel nothing right now. It might just be because I'm exhausted from everything I've been doing this week. 50th anniversary, the countdown videos, and then having this, pretty much a surprise direct less than a week before another direct, or what's essentially a direct. It's crazy, and I have no idea what they're going to show here. But I do appreciate that they're not cutting off the Switch One like cold turkey, I guess, that they will seemingly continue to support it unless it ends up being mostly third parties. But even so, this is it's good to see, and I'm hoping we'll have some fun excitement or fun excitement today, fun announcements today.
Yeah, we've never had anything this close to. I don't think we've ever had two directs this close, unless it was like maybe a Pokemon Direct or a Pokemon Presents and a traditional Nintendo Direct. But seeing these so close, anything can happen at this point. It's just insane. And like you said, it's good to see that they're still supporting the Switch One throughout the year. And my hope is that I'm not sure that we'll be able to tell a little bit more about the release date for the Switch 2 with these days, because they probably are going to put in release dates for these games, first party games that are coming out, hopefully this year.
Right. Yeah. Oh, in fact, there was I looked at the Japanese tweet and they specified that this focused on 2025 announcements, which I guess we kind of expected anyway. That's usually how it goes. But we have Queens in the chat saying, reading my mind, Mario Baseball, please. This is what I need. This is what I need. As long as you've pointed out before, Nick, it's not like the other three Mario sports games on Switch. So I think you just add the fourth and make it completely different to the other three. That'd be amazing. So.
Yeah, if it is like the other sports games on Switch, I can only imagine like the starting roster. What they give you like 15 characters and that's it. It's like, wait, what? I can't even make a full team different from my opponent's team. That I can see them doing. But again, like if you look back at Sluggers and Mario Baseball on the GameCube, the rosters for those games is ginormous. And one of my favorite things for the Wii version is that they added alternative colors to the characters, because that was my biggest hope for the GameCube one. It's like, oh, I want to play as a different color like Koopa, or I want to play as a different color or a different variant of like a Goomba or something like that. But they allowed you to do that in the Wii one.
Yeah, no, good point. So we could speculate all day about what the roster could have, right? I wonder, would Goomba still have the levitating bats, or they put it in his
Just
mouth or
float there.
something? Yeah, I feel like that's part of him now. He needs to have the levitating bats. First off, shout out to My Retro Life in the chat, friend of the channel. How are you doing? They ask how I'm doing. Hey, bro, you excited? I'm getting a little more excited now that I'm waking up, so I'm always curious to see what Nintendo has, but I haven't had much time to really even think about what the hell this direct is going to be, so that's fun. Super chat from Valentine, thank you Valentine, they say Mario Warriors Splatoon spin-off, a farming sim. A farming sim seems like a pretty safe bet. That was a
Yeah, I
third
think
party
that's
one.
a safe bet out of those three games. A Splatoon spin-off, I would say they would probably wait to the Switch 2 for something like that. But a Mario Warriors game, that would be
Yes.
a dream. I have no idea how you make that.
I don't know either, but I kind of want it. And I don't even like Warrior games. But, excuse me. But if you add in, Mario and a crazy cast and where, like, nothing makes sense, like, it makes even less sense than Mario games normally do, sign me up. I'm there. That sounds hilarious. This could be amazing. Especially with all the music they would add for it, So, My Retro Life says, should be interesting to see what the last Switch 1 games will be. Well, do we think these will be the last Switch 1 games, or is it possible there could be more in the future?
I think it's possible that there could be more in the future. And on top of that note, I don't think they mentioned that this is going to be like the last Switch 1 Direct, right? Like they just said, hey, like we're not mentioning the Switch 2 here. There's just going to be Switch 1 focus games. So it is possible that we see another Switch 1 Direct after this in the future.
I had to consider that. Yeah, I mean, if not that, I feel like there would be more Switch games possibly, in a, just a general Nintendo Direct in the
We'll just
future.
tie it together.
Yeah, exactly. Because anything on Switch 1 will work on Switch 2, minus a handful of games. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. Valentine says, want me to post my fan roster ideas for Mario Baseball? Sure, go ahead. I may not be able to read them all, but please feel free to post them. Check and let's take a look at them. Miracle's hoping for Black Ops 24 for Switch. That actually might need a miracle, right?
I think that would need a miracle, because I don't even think the Call of Duty game on PlayStation Vita ran too well, and I think that was designed specifically for Vita. And seeing a Call of Duty game on the Switch, one, I don't think it's likely at this point, but I think there is an agreement or there's a contract out there that states that Microsoft has to bring Call of Duty to the Nintendo platform within like the next like 10 years or so. So for
Right.
Switch 2, I can definitely see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oh, absolutely on Switch 2. Yeah, no question
Yeah.
there. Switch 1, probably unlikely, I think. So, let's see here. Game Collector asks, would you play Donkey Kong Country Returns U HD Deluxe Ultra Remake Rebirth Ultimate Remaster Legacy Enhanced Definitive Edition of the Year Definitive Game of the Year Edition? Woo! You know what? I would just for that name. That sounds like a Rednecks title, like the group. They have like a song. They have a song titled like it's a whole paragraph. That's basically what that is. Or also Peter Jackson's presents King Kong, the movie, the game, I think it was. Like, that was an absurd title, too. Yeah, I will play it just for the title. I don't even care if there's missing fur or whatever else. I'm there.
Like a Kojima title, like
Oh, my
Kojima's
God.
name is in front of the game.
Yeah, right, exactly. It'd be so funny if Kojima legally changed his name every time to add another name to it. It gets longer and longer. Like, he's got 30 middle names.
Oh, I see Natty saying Star Fox Miracle. I have my R Wing right
Oh,
here. I'm
yeah.
hoping that we get, if we don't get it today, maybe next week. I'm just hoping anything Star Fox related.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, one last hurrah on Switch. But yeah, I don't know. Like, would it be better? I mean, there has not been one on Switch, so they are kind of overdue. Like, if it's, I could see it happening if it's like, if it has a multiplayer focus. If it's single player, I think they would may hold off for Switch too. But if it's multiplayer, you'd want as big a user base as possible. So
Yeah, I think, like you said, multiplayer Switch 1, single player Switch 2. And the thing is, like, the past Star Fox games have really revolutionized some things in gaming, right? Like, if you look back at the first Star Fox, it did 3D on the Super Nintendo, which was a big deal at the time. You look at Star Fox 64, added Rumble, one of the first games to have Rumble. And then even Star Fox Assault was one of the first games to have a fully orchestrated soundtrack, which is
right.
amazing. So it did a lot of first things in the past.
Yeah, that's a good one. I actually even forgot about that. So, Valentine posted their some of the roster they want in Mario Baseball, and that would be, wait, let's see. I double the teams and change. Okay, I'll change a Wario team. Okay, they want King Boo, Rosalina, Boom Boom, yes,
Oh,
and King K. Rool as captains. Yes, King K. Rool. He's already a captain, the captain of a ship.
yeah. He has the Kremlings or the whatever, the
Yeah.
alligator crocodiles. Yeah, Wario's team in the previous ones just felt like a mishmash of characters. It was like whatever's left over, we'll just put on Wario's team.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. So this random hodgepodge of like goofballs and losers.
And it's crazy. We haven't seen Pauline or Rosalina in a Mario baseball game because the
Yeah,
last
it's
one
been
that came
so
out
long.
was like, yeah, it was a thing before they were really big in Mario games.
It's so sad that Mario Baseball only got 2 games. It was basically the last entry in the Mario Sports series, and then they did it twice. And I didn't even like the second one as much as the first, and then never again. So maybe I killed it for everyone. I'm sorry. I barely played 2. I loved 1 though. I was addicted. I got addicted to 1 when I used to work at Nintendo. They had a like a break area with like a few game kiosks, and one of them was a GameCube that permanently had Mario Baseball on it. So me and another coworker, who's now a friend, we just go there and play it every day during lunch or break or whatever. And we got so good at the game during these breaks. Like we got a home. I can't take credit for it. I think got a home run that was so far it literally broke the graphics engine. Like it was like glitching out and stuff. I'm like, holy crap, you broke the game. That was amazing. So.
Yeah, my friends and I played one. Again, we did not really play two so much. One was our bread and butter. And eventually my friends got all the stars for every single character, which was insane
Wow.
because I think you have to play like story mode so many times to get all those stars.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was basically platinuming a Nintendo game at that
Yeah.
point. So, my Retro Life followed up and said, I definitely feel some of the games in this direct will be featured in the Switch 2 Direct as enhanced titles. I hope so, if only so my prediction of Metroid Prime 4 being a launch title ends up being true, or at the least has Switch 2 support. Because again, it's so perfect for the mouse. Why would you not want to take advantage of it? And
Yeah.
especially with a game as beautiful as Metroid Prime 4, wouldn't you want that to be a graphical showcase already? Even more so on Switch? Like, obviously, I don't know how much work would need to go into it to enhance it even more on Switch 2. But for as good as it looks on Switch, it could look even better on Switch 2. And hopefully, possibly, modest, modest, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Like, not too much time. It wouldn't take too much
Yeah.
time. Take too many resources. And I think again, part of the reason why I think it'll make so much sense on Switch 2 as well, or have it be treated as like a launch title, is I think that's Metroid's best chance at expanding its market finally. But it has like a 3 million cap. Like those games that hit 3 million and they peter off a cliff, right? And I think this would help maybe possibly broaden the market. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, but Zelda ended up selling way more being a launch title, and partially because the game looked amazing as well. But I think Metro could get a similar benefit and be like the the yang to Mario Kart's yin.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like Metroid doesn't hit those Luigi's Mansion 3 numbers, which is funny to say because I think Luigi's Mansion 3 sold like 7 or 8 million copies, which is insane for a Luigi's Mansion game.
It kind of is.
But we've seen a lot of other games hit their peak of sales on the Switch 1, right? Like Pikmin 4 sold incredibly well. I think the best in this series. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I believe that sold incredibly well. Again, I think a peak for the series. Even Metroid Dread did very well in sales for the Metroid series.
I think you almost said Metroid Dead.
Yeah, Metroid's gone out of here. But yeah, I think and that's the thing. When do we see them mention the Switch 2 in this direct? Like they said they're not talking about any Switch 2 games, but obviously we're aware of the Switch 2 direct next week. Like, are they going to say, oh, like you said, enhanced with Switch 2? Are they going to say, oh, the only thing they're going to say is wait till next week to hear more news on the Switch 2? Is there going to be anything?
Let me double check their wording real quick just to confirm that it was just no games. It said. Actually, the Japanese tweet says information about the Nintendo Switch 2 is not included.
Okay.
And do I have the American one here? The American one says, yeah, no updates about Nintendo Switch 2 during this presentation. So if there is anything at all, at most it'll be a reminder, like, hey, stay tuned for Switch 2. But it sounds like there's probably going to be nothing. Which brings me back to the idea of Metroid Prime 4 being here. But I think for sure it will be here. It's the only big first-party Nintendo title besides Pokemon that we know about is left. So obviously it has to be focused. It has to have a focus here. But I think it could almost pull a Breath of the Wild or Zelda Wii U at the time on a truncated schedule where they talk about mostly here, but then they talk more about it at the Switch 2 event, more briefly. But then it inherently acts as an ad for that successor system now, right? Everyone's excited for Metroid Prime 4, and now like, oh, it's getting Switch 2 functionality. I'm listening. So again, all speculation on my part. So my Retro Life says Metroid Dead equals Metroid with zombies. There we go. I mean, that's kind of like what isn't it a little bit like Corruption? Like, didn't that kind of give Samus almost like a zombie-like appearance? I think.
Is Corruption? Is that?
Or no, it was the other one. The Shadow Mix Samus or whatever. They were corrupted Samus.
Dark Samus.
Sorry, Dark Samus. Yeah,
Dark
that's
Samus? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Born96 with a super chat. Thank you, Born. They say, how do you feel about two directs close together? Does it feel weird or normal to you both? No. For me, it feels very weird. Especially because it's our 50th anniversary this week. I had big plans for it on top of our daily countdowns to the Switch 2 with a new video every day. This really complicates things. I was not anticipating this, and it's a little annoying, to be honest, from a work perspective. Nick, how do you feel, though? You don't have that work bias working against you, so...
It feels weird, right? Because I was excited for the Switch 2 Direct, just inherently, because I've been waiting all this time since, February, when they said the Direct was going to happen, or January?
That's when the rumors were, yeah.
The time just flew by, and now it's like, wait a minute, there's something it almost feels like an April Fool's joke, because we have April Fools right before the Switch 2 Direct, and now we have, again, there's just way too much going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, DJ says, happy 50th anniversary, GameXplain. Okay, I appreciate it. I'm 15, not 50. How old do you think I am? I'm not even 50. Good God. I appreciate the comment, though, DJ. Chris just threw out a name called Star Fox Squadrons. Yeah, I'll take Star Fox : anything at this point, right? Yeah. I don't care what the subtitle. It could be Star Fox : sucks. I don't care. I will take it. Anything Star Fox needs something at this point. So, although again, I personally think it's more like it comes to Switch 2, but maybe not. Maybe Switch 1 will be the better option with Switch 2 functionality because you had the biggest user base on Switch, and maybe that is the best way to put it out there rather than, having the last game being on Nintendo's worst selling console of all time.
Yeah, or maybe they don't want to repeat what they did with the Wii U, because I think Star Fox Zero was one of the last first-party Wii U games, if you don't really count Breath of the Wild, because that was also on Switch. But for 2016, there wasn't a lot of first-party games that year, and I believe Star Fox Zero came out maybe like May or June of that year, so maybe they don't want it to die off with the console that they're getting rid of and moving on to the new, bright and new thing. So yeah, anything Star Fox. I just hope it's good. That's my biggest hope. Like it could be anything related to Star Fox. Like it could be Fox cooking in a kitchen or something. And if it's fun, it's fun. Like I'll take
Fox
it.
cooking a Star Fox cooking game. That's how you expand the Star Fox IP, right? Chris has Star Fox Chess here. Do we have any other fun titles? Piru says in before Star Fox Zero, port to continue the Wii U porting trend. Yeah, there we go. So, someone pointed out to me, by the way, one of our followers
Yeah.
tweeted at me that apparently I accidentally put up the Japanese image here. Don't worry, we're watching the English direct.
Yeah.
I just accidentally. In fact, I can actually just expand this and get that off screen. So there we go. Yeah, let's. Yeah, that works perfect. There we go. Problem solved. So yeah, we're watching the American one. I just put up an image to block, the fact that there's nothing happening right now on the direct. So, Nintendo American one is live. Well, we can
Yeah,
fix
it
this
is
then.
live.
All right, give me a few seconds here, chat. Nick, did any other comments stand out to you while I fix this?
Let me check. Let me check. Oh, Jenna says, GameXplain, happy 15th anniversary to you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Again, it's
you.
not 50, because if it was 50, then it would be longer than YouTube's been around, which is kind of crazy.
That would be amazing.
Star Fox Say says Star Fox Life Sim, and it's super sci-fi. Again, at this point, I'll take anything Star Fox. I think that's been my biggest complaint with Star Fox, that it really hasn't had a cohesive developer, and that's why each game feels so different from each other. Because you have Star Fox on the Super Nintendo and Star Fox 64, which I believe uh, was it? Who was the developer for the Super Nintendo one? I think someone in Europe, a
For Star
Europe-based studio, I
Fox,
believe.
Argonaut.
Yeah. Argonaut, that's who it was. Yeah, correct. And then for 64, I think maybe it was Argonaut again or just internal at that point. And then you have Star Fox Adventure, which is just straight up Rare. And that was a weird time because they were already bought by Microsoft, so they were just releasing this as one of their last games on a Nintendo platform. And then shortly after, you got Star Fox Assault, which is Namco Bandai Namco, which again they're just going between so many different developers, and I don't even know who made Star Fox Command. And then after that you have the 3DS port, and then you have Star Fox Zero, which was by Platinum Games, which
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to do a much better job with. But honestly, I think the gamepad kind of held back their, I guess, creativity with the game, because I know Miyamoto was just so gun ho on having the gamepad be a function for this game. And it stinks because when you go back to play it, you can't even turn it off. The only way to kind of turn off that feature is if you play like co-op, and if someone like is flying the ship with the gamepad or controlling the reticle with the gamepad, and then use the controller to actually control the ship. So it was just kind of weird like that. What else do we have here? Super Mario 3D Land HD. Could we? I don't know if we could see that. We have a
I
lot
mean,
of.
it's possible, but that seems unlikely. Yeah, I like the idea though. Like that probably should be ported at some point. A lot of people prefer the 3D world, which is I don't know if I agree with, but that's fair.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing 3D Land at the time. But again, like if you go to 3D World, it just has everything. It's just on a larger scope than 3D Land. And then on top of that, you also have Bowser's Fury, which is attached to that version on the Switch.
Right. Good point. All right, I'm almost done getting
Yeah,
things set
no,
up
no
here.
rust. Cosmic says Star Fox or Fire Emblem. Which one will we see more likely today? I think it's Fire Emblem. They crank out Fire Emblem games, even though they put two Warriors games on the Switch. You also have Three Houses. You have Engage. So technically, like four Fire Emblem games on the Switch. But again, I think they could possibly put maybe like a remake of a Fire Emblem game, if not a new Fire Emblem game. Probably a remake, I would say, because the past two Fire Emblem games have been brand new to the series, Three Houses and Engage. And then, like I said, you also had Three Hopes, which is brand new to the series. But speaking of Fire Emblem, the last one I actually played was Fire Emblem Warriors, which came out in 2017. Because I've been on like a Warriors kick, and that game is so much fun. Having that tactical strategy that is inherent to Fire Emblem, where you're like looking at like the board and it's all grid based. When you pause the game for Fire Emblem Warriors, you can still do that with the characters. So you still have that micromanagement that is big in Fire Emblem, but then you still have that chaotic nature of the Warriors game, where it's like, oh, here's 100 enemies on screen, go destroy all the enemies.
Right. Yeah. That that is, it's almost too chaotic, I think, for me sometimes. But again, it is Mario when I'm there. We did get a comment from Yoshi's Woolly World saying, why can't we get a Double Dash sequel on Switch? That's what I'm saying! I've been saying this for over 20 years now. I mean, not specifically for Switch, that'd be impressive. But at this point, yes, I need, or yeah, I need, yeah, I'll even take just a remaster. Just re-release the same damn game, add online, you know, proper 8-player, well, 8-card, 16-player support, and that'd be amazing. Like, that game, you know, I first off, I made a whole video recently about why I still think it's a GOAT Mario Kart, so go watch the video if you haven't already. And, you know, it still holds up remarkably well. Obviously, graphics aren't, you know, as great these days, but it still looks totally fine. And it's not hard at all to go back to. It just feels so good. I love everything. I have very few complaints about Double Dash. So
I have a few complaints. I loved it growing up as a kid, and the thing is, for me to get back into it, I think I need to constantly play it because when I'm playing it compared to like 8 Deluxe or even like Mario Kart 7, I feel like I'm on soap when I'm driving the cars because they're so slippery. They control so different than Mario Kart 8.
that's
or
why I
Mario Kart
love it
7.
because like it feels a little out of control, right? Whereas in
Yeah,
Mario
it's
Kart 8, I
chaotic.
feel like I have too much control. It's like I know I can like envision exactly my path. What was that? There was that movie where they like there were couriers on bikes and the main character you'd see like him visualize his exact path through the track. And that's how I feel on Mario Kart. It's like I know exactly how my cart's gonna react. Double Dash, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
Especially with everyone having the 2 items and switching back and forth between the items. Yeah, it is very chaotic.
It is. Someone here, Nick's Bank says Wave Race Blue Storm and F-Zero GX coming as the first games for NSO GameCube. Yeah, both of those are fantastic games. Like Nintendo used to be like amazing at making racing games, and now all they have is Mario Kart, and barely even that, considering we went nearly 10 years without, or no, we have gone over 10 years now without a new one, which is crazy. And no, Tour does not count. Valentine's the super chat. So Super Smash Brothers, the RPG, first villain Waluigi. Okay, Nick, I don't know if you might disagree. If it came down to it, I would legit want this more than a new Smash Brothers. If they made an RPG with all the characters, sign me up. We still have Ultimate. That still works. That still plays fine. I want something new. This would be amazing.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening, especially with how many RPGs they've been cranking out recently. Like, we got Mario and Luigi last year, and then even last year, too, we got Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake, and then even before that, we did get Mario RPGs. So to see a brand new one in the series and bringing in characters that we haven't seen in that series before, like Wario and Waluigi, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
And again, like, I think just how weird, like, the Mario and Luigi series are, like, you can even have it, like, Super Mario RPG, like Wario's Revenge or Waluigi's Revenge or something like that.
Luigi's Revenge. Yeah, that'd be great. At the least, he should be like the main villain in the next story mode for Smash Brothers. And then you unlock him as a main character afterward, like a playable character. And Nico Demo also says in a super chat, thank you, that they want a new Smash Brothers. I think a lot of people obviously do want to see a new Smash, or at least, you know, updates to the current one more so. My Retro Life says, I hope Virtual Boy's coming to Nintendo Switch Online. My Retro Life, it annoys me so much. Nintendo had 2 perfect opportunities for it and it squandered both. One, 3DS has a 3D screen.
Yep.
They could just put them on the eShop. Or 2, Labo VR. So perfect for it. They even teased it in the Labo VR game. There's a video where you can see Virtual Boy. The camera went into a Virtual Boy and you could see Mario Tennis for a few seconds. And that was it. I'm like, how dare you guys tease this and not give us that?
I love the Virtual Boy. I bought one maybe like 15 years ago, and when I played it for the first time, I was like, "Well, this was ahead of its time."
It was.
The biggest issue is like just your
It's
position or your
uncomfortable.
posture. It's just like, wait, I'm putting this on my desk and I'm looking into this thing, and then on top of that, it's just red and black. I wish there was more color variant in it because I played Mario Tennis. I played the Mario, like the typical Mario Bros game where you have the different, you're in the pipes or whatever, but that game plays so well in 3D because it has those different layers and you're jumping on the Koopa shells and you're tossing them in the foreground and in the background. Yeah, I really do enjoy some Virtual Boy games, but again, they're stuck on the Virtual Boy and they had perfect opportunities, like you said, the 3DS or Labo to bring them over.
Would have been nice. We got a super chat from Tom Green. Thank you, Tom Green. It says we get 1 Mario movie cast, 2 trailer, 3 date. So I don't think they talk about this direct specifically, but they are talking that's the order we'll get things. So I think replicating the, well, that's interesting actually. It's basically replicating the first one.
Date, though, right?
Yeah, we had the date already. So yeah, we have the date. So that'd be 1. Then maybe another cast reveal, which again would be largely the same, you know, minus I imagine a handful of new characters at the least. And then and then the trailer, which I can't wait for. That'd be if they follow the first movie, that'd be in October, I believe. So Yeah. Chat, real quick, how are we sounding, by the way? I forgot to check in earlier. Are me and Nick sounding pretty similar? Let me know.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if our audio is pretty good.
Yeah, or if anyone needs to be adjusted at all. Thanks, Sneakers. Okay, it's perfect. Okay, great. And then once it gets started, let me know if the stream's too loud. You can't hear us at all. I'd prefer to be on the louder side than not between the two. But if you can't hear us, let us know and we'll adjust it once it starts. Awesome, thanks, chat. Everyone pretty much agrees that we sound good. Perfect. Love that.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else? What else could we be hoping for? I mean, I think. Okay. Let's get down to like brass tacks here, right? We're getting close. We're only 20 minutes away now. So Metroid Prime 4, I think, is a lock. I think we'll get finally. I think Shadow drops for at least Metroid Prime 2, maybe possibly 3 as well. Because if Metroid Prime 4 somehow ends up being a launch title still, they need to get those out there ASAP. I think dropping both at the same time makes sense. If it ends up being a later in the year title, then maybe it makes sense to spread 2 and 3 out. In any case, we'll get an announcement date for at least one of those, if not Shadow drop today. Then I think Kirby. I think it's extremely likely we get a Kirby, most likely a port or remaster, Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, one of those two. And then, as I mentioned earlier, a far chance, but I still hope for Mario Baseball. But what else? Like, obviously, I don't think one we're perfectly predicting this. Is there something else we're not calling yet, or any, like, do you think there'll be an off the wall surprise from Nintendo here?
So off the wall, I'm not sure, and I'll get back to that because I'll probably think of something off the wall. But something that is still kind of fresh in our minds, which only came out last year, it's not even a year old yet, is Mario Party DLC.
Oh yes,
right. Like we say it for every Mario Party on the Switch, but each Mario Party on the Switch gets better and better. And if they do add DLC, please fix jamborees. Like, let us have a toggle that we can just turn them on or off. Because when I was playing with my family, they're like, man, this takes a long time. Because when you play the jamboree games, there are a lot of time to get through.
3 minutes at a minimum, and and then and the longer the game, the more buddies I might run into. Possibly, like, I think maybe even 3 or 4 per game, perhaps even more. And yeah, it's a little excessive. Especially the thing that really surprised me is pro mode. I've actually been getting the pro mode recently. It's actually pretty fun. I'm a little surprised by that.
Is that when you get to pick your mini game, like you vote on it?
Yeah, you vote on it, and you can do that for normal games too. But it makes it so like the stars only appear in preset locations, and then that decreases after you buy a star, so you kind of can predict where they may appear next. There's only 12 turns. Boo always steals 15 coins. Item inventory from the stores it has a finite amount. So if you buy,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you can buy out the store, which is really cool. Anyways, but so the whole idea is it's supposed to be like a little bit more skill based, a little bit less luck, but you still have the jamboree buddies there mucking things up, Anyways, but back to your point. It's so funny. This is probably the most far out prediction, is given how Mario Party's worked. But if they have Mario Party DLC here, new maps, new characters, maybe some mini games, like, oh god, if they did seasons for Mario Party, that'd be amazing. Like, here's a season, 1 new character, 10 new mini games, and then 1 new map. Man, I would love that. Even if it costs, or be part of NSO, like that'd be so great. So.
Yeah. And they've been lacking on, I think, their inclusion with any other stuff outside of like the NSO games for NSO, like the virtual console games. Because I'm trying to think, what was the last major addition to it that was tied into a game? Have we seen anything in the past year or two?
Not that I can think of. Yeah.
Was the last thing Mario Kart, like the deluxe?
That was the last big one at the least, I think.
I think that was right, and that was what, like 2 or 3 years ago.
God, it is so crazy. Like, now that it's years ago now, yeah, at the time it already felt extremely like dated. Like, what I mean? Like, why are they doing this now? What a weird thing, right? Yeah.
It was just like, oh, we're gonna update the game that's already almost 10 years old at this point. Like, wait, why are you updating it now? I think they just realized that they sold over 60 million copies. Like, oh, it's still selling, so we should give the users something more to play with.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Exactly. I'm actually kind of shocked they're even making a new Mario Kart, just not ride and die Mario Kart 8 Deluxe till the end of time. Wolverine search, how far away is it? We are now 16 minutes away. It's almost here, Wolverine. We got a super chat from Nico Demo. It's their 3rd one on the stream. Thank you so much, Nico Demo. Unfortunately, the message was deleted, so I can't read it. But if you follow up, there they go. They did follow up. Thank you with another super chat. They say, do you think Mario plus Rabbids will be announced and Zelda remake? These are okay. These are possible. Well, one of these is a possibility. There's no chance another Mario and Rabbids. Are they asking for? Yeah, I know. I don't think the director isn't even at Ubisoft anymore.
No,
so
I don't believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think Mario Rabbids is dead. You do raise a good point, though. I had forgot to bring this up. There is a possibility of Zelda ports in the forms of Wind Waker HD or Twilight Princess HD. I think Wind Waker would be most likely to come first, just as it did before. Do we think that could happen, Nick? What do you think?
So when we've been talking with the chat and we've been figuring out what we're going to see here, there's a lot of mention of like GameCube titles, right? Like we talked about the rumors of Metroid Prime 2 and 3,
Yeah.
and then Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. But the more I hear people talk about this, the more I'm like, oh, I just want these on NSO as GameCube games at this point, right? Because like we've already seen those games, at least Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on the Wii U. So it's like I would much rather have these on NSO on as GameCube games. But again, they can easily add these in to kind of hold us over to the next Zelda game, to the next Metroid game, which Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. So again, like I'd rather have them as NSO games.
Do you rather have them as NSO games?
Yeah, so just to have like NSO on the console, like the GameCube games. Like even though
I
these
get
will
that,
probably be
right.
better, these will probably be better ports. These would be the best way to play them. But if I
Right.
could get them all together on NSO sooner, I think I'd rather have that.
I mean, I guess yeah. So that's a choice between GameCube,
Yeah.
NSO, and or Zelda remakes or remasters. I'd obviously go NSO too. But I mean, I think we already know we already have Nintendo's game plan here. They will have NSO out. They will ignore Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and release those on their own games at
Yeah.
full price, and then in the distant future, they'll finally eventually release it. We actually saw this with Mario vs. Donkey. Actually, we haven't fully seen it yet, but I don't think Mario vs. Donkey Kong is still out yet on the
It's
GB.
not, I don't
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
so it's been over, I think, over a year now. Pretty sure at least. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
over a
definitely
year.
over a year.
Yeah, and still no sign of it on the shop, which means, yeah, which means if honestly, I think Nick, I'm sorry if you want them on
I
the
know,
NSO, I
I
don't think it's gonna
know.
happen soon. So.
And on top of that point, like you said, we got the Super Mario RPG remake. That's not even on NSO. And I don't think that will ever come to NSO, unfortunately. I know it's tied to Square Enix. So, like you said, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. They're going to charge full price for these. And that's why that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah. More super chats. Dragmeyer, thank you, says, thanks to everyone for the super chats. We're totally getting that canceled tactical RPG Zelda game that Retro was involved in. I think they're totally is doing a lot of work there. I think they're not entirely serious. But that would actually be cool. I would love to see something new from Retro, but obviously that something new is going to be Metroid Prime 4, right? So, unless they've expanded and are able to work on multiple games at once, I'm not seeing it. But I would, I'm in for a tactical RPG Zelda style. That could be really interesting. Terrence Camel with a super chat. No message though, so thank you for joining us and super chatting. So even if there was no actual chat there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we are now 13 minutes away.
Oh
We're
my
getting
God.
closer by the minute, which is how time generally works. Is there-
Andre, do we see
yeah.
with Super Nintendo World opening over up in Florida and the expansion already happening in Japan, do you think we see anything Donkey Kong here today?
Oh man, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD just came out, and that feels like kind of game they rushed out there to have for the theme
Yeah.
park. So I think not. I would love to be wrong. I would be so happy to be wrong, but I think it'd be more realistic for it to appear if there is one next week. At the Switch
Yeah.
2 event. But I whatever. I want more Donkey Kong whatever form it is, and it's not impossible that there is something here. It could be like a Port of Jungle Beat, for instance, or something that doesn't require Switch 2's horsepower. Another super chat from Hyrulean Kale, thank you. Says, I say this everywhere, make a new Zelda Collector's Edition HD like the GameCube had with TP, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask all in one. Wait, okay, I see what they're saying. I thought you meant
Yeah.
the first GameCube had that game. I'm like, wait, I don't think they did. No, because wait, did they?
No, GameCube had one that had
The
Majora's
old
Mask
games.
and Ocarina of Time.
That's
Yeah,
it,
and I
yeah.
think and maybe like a original Nintendo one on there or something like that. But I know it was definitely
Yeah,
Ocarina of Time and Majora's
I,
Mask.
yeah, I think it had like the first four major entry. Well, rather, I think it skipped a
Was
Link
it
to the
like Zelda
Past
1 and Zelda
and
2?
Link's
They
Awakening.
definitely
Yeah,
yeah, they
then the
definitely
64 ones. And
yeah.
I remember Majora's Mask ran like crap on that one for some reason.
Did
Like
it really?
it didn't. Well, yeah, I mean it was playable. It just had an even worse frame rate than it did before, which is saying something. So. All right. Oh, it had the Wind Waker demo. Okay, that's what it had. Now I remember that. That's
Oh,
cool.
it
I
had the
do.
Wind Waker demo, and I think it also had maybe function with the Game Boy Advance adapter on it. I could be wrong because I've definitely had demo disc on the GameCube that for some reason they had like a functionality with the adapter that you connect to your Game Boy Advance and then you connect that to your GameCube via the controller port. I
The
don't
link
even know what the
cable,
name of that is. Is it the link cable
the GBA
or
link cable,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Or rather, I guess a GameCube 2 GBA link cable.
Yeah.
Because that was, yeah. I had to rebuy a few of those recently because with my analog pocket, I got inspired to revisit a ton of games, including Zelda Four Swords on GameCube. And God, that game is so fun.
It's awesome.
For me, it is so much better than Triforce Heroes. It is so
Yeah.
fun. What if that's a surprise game today? Hey, by the way, here comes Four Sword Adventures,
I could see that because I think what was the one for 3DS? You just said it. The was it
Triforce Heroes.
Yeah, Triforce Heroes. I feel like that came out at just like a random time for the 3DS.
Mhm.
Maybe that was like 2015 or even like 2016. But again, like playing the GameCube one, the visuals on that are outstanding. I
Yeah.
love the gameplay and the visuals for that one.
Yeah, no, it's so I actually, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now I do. I'm like, this game is so freaking fun. I wasn't able to beat it because my friends weren't able to hang around long enough, sadly. But I am excited to revisit one of these days. We got some more super chats from Contra 3. Thank you. It's our first super chat on the live stream. Thank you so much. No message though. Then we have a another super chat. Thank you, Terrence, so much. Who says had to buy it twice. Oh, with a super chat? I'm sorry. Did I miss one? Anyways, I'm sorry about that. If so. Or they're talking about something else. Had to buy it twice. Thoughts or opinions on if they reveal a new Bowser title with him as a main character. There's literally been every character with a main game besides him and Waluigi. That's an interesting point.
Oh,
Although, Daisy too, unless we're not counting her as main. But if
yeah.
Waluigi counts, Daisy counts. Anyways, or unless I guess, or are you saying, I guess she was playable Mario Run. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. A new Bowser game. Do you think that could happen, Nick, today?
I think it's possible, especially with how big of a role Bowser plays in the Mario movies. Obviously, it won't be tied to the Mario movies. I'm just trying to think of what genre it would be, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be a platformer. I don't think it's going to be an action game. Maybe like a strategy game where you control like your army and you have to send them out. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around what a Bowser single game, like a Bowser specific game could be.
It has to be a game of destruction. You're just going
Yeah.
through things, smacking people around, busting down buildings. Like, make a blast
Oh,
core, but with Bowser.
yeah, you say Blast Core, and I was just thinking like Rampage because you're giant monsters in cities, like in
Right.
Godzilla almost, and you're just destroying. That would be
That
awesome.
would be awesome. Oh my god, that'd be so fun. All right, so Contra 3, I feel bad now because they had said that they were asking how do you add a message to a super chat. Chat, can you guys help them out? I haven't done too many
I don't know
myself.
how to do that either.
Yeah, so please let Contra 3 know. But they did post separately, I think, a message they meant to include with their super chat being, we need Gauntlet Dark Legacy Remake, LOL. I forget, is that one of the arcade ones or something? Is that like, I remember playing
Oh,
Gauntlet. Just go ahead.
I remember, yeah, no, I remember playing it too, or at least seeing it in the arcades. I think it's like four players. I remember each of the buttons and the controllers being like bright colors, like maybe like a bright green, a bright blue. And I think it's kind of like a top-down, almost like a Diablo-like game.
Yeah.
If that's right, if that's the game I'm thinking of, I think it's like that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember playing Gauntlet on the Dreamcast, I think, and I think that's in the same series, and that game was super fun. It was based on the arcade game. And Contra 3 figured it out. They paid another super chat. Thank you, Gauntlet, saying the same thing. We need a Dark Legacy remake. So, I was gonna say something here. Mario Kart Switch 2 teaser. Unfortunately, they said no Switch 2.
Yeah, and
Unless it's somehow a Switch 1 title too, we're not seeing it
oh
here.
no.
Some other people comment on the Bowser thing. Richard Long says Bowser's Blast Zone. You know what? I like the name. It also reminded me more of the fact that Mario Party is a minigame very similar to what I was suggesting. Where, except you're fighting Bowser and he's going through, like,
Yeah.
destroying a city. How fun would it be? This won't happen. How fun would it be if they updated that mode? So it's to be an asymmetrical multiplayer game, so one person is Bowser. It would be kind of like a
Oh,
spiritual successor to Mario Party 10, which had stuff like that.
that would be awesome. And that
Right?
just reminds me of like Wii U games, specifically like Nintendo Land, where you have like Mario Chase or
Yeah!
whatever the Animal Crossing one is, where you can't see where anyone else is because you have your own individual screen. So like if you were Bowser and I can't see where you guys are, I'm thinking like something like Dead by Daylight. Obviously not like a horror game, but you're controlling your own thing and you're up against like maybe like four other characters.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I'm down for this. That'd be amazing. So, yeah. Natsu says, doesn't Waluigi just have a dance? Doesn't Waluigi have a dance game? He doesn't, but he is heavily featured in it. So, it's technically still Mario's game as
Yeah.
Mario. Is it Mario Dance Dance Revolution? Oh, no, Mario,
Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, is it?
something
Or
like that.
Mario
Yeah, Mario
Remix?
Mix, I think. Yeah. R says also, what about new Alarmo themes? Didn't they already announce that
I
recently?
think there was just a recent update for it,
They added
right?
like the NES theme, so I think any Alarmo announcements will be separate outside of the direct. I
Yeah,
could be totally wrong, but I don't think they're gonna promote it again in a direct. So unless it's part of like
yeah.
a reel.
I think Alarmo is just going to be a Twitter drop. Like they're just like, oh, here's the update. Go update it yourself, and
Yeah.
here's a new themes for it.
We are five
Oh,
minutes away from the start of the direct. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Sergeant Gnome with a prediction. Miyamoto will talk about Pikmin Bloom for 7 minutes. Let's hope
wait,
not.
when did he do that? Was that just during a direct where he had like the Pikmin shirt on, and he's like, oh, let me just talk about Pikmin Blue. It was really random at the
It
time
did
because
feel random.
the game was pretty dated at that point. So he's just like, oh, don't forget to play Pikmin Blue.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So, yeah, man, let's hope we don't get anything quite like that again. Although, or at least today. I will say, though, I wouldn't mind more like developer, more quick comments from the directors or developers of the games. I feel like directs are kind of strayed away from that by and large.
Yeah.
Like I'm reminded of like the Woolly World days where we had a whole like insight into them using like wool and everything to make these characters and in real life, I think, and that was
Yeah, I
really
think that
cool.
was what Nintendo Direct 2015 or 16,
Con-
and they actually like showed in the office. Like it
mm.
was a lot different from their typical Nintendo Directs, and I'm like, oh, you get to actually see what the developers were doing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I miss those days. We got another super chat. Thank you from I always butcher this name because I'm a fool. Tanjiro Carmado, thank you so much, says Nintendo GameCube NOS or NSO would break the internet. Games like F-Zero GX and 20 players would be amazing. Oh my god, yes it would be. But I think they would hold off on Switch 2, but if it will work on Switch 1 as well, then we'd probably see it today.
Did that game have LAN support? Do you know, like the LAN adapter for GameCube? Was
No,
that
the
one of the
only
few
three
games?
games that supported, the only first party games that supported LAN adapter, if I remember correctly, Mario Kart Double Dash, the best one, Kirby
Yep.
Air Ride, just used it really weirdly because I think it was only for 4 players still, and you still saw split screen. I don't, it was
That's
so weird.
so
I'm trying to remember even what the point of that was. Like, why did they even do it? Yeah, I forget. There must have been some benefit. I don't remember. And I think the other was 1080. Am I right about that? Chat was a
Oh,
1080?
really?
I think so. Yeah, I never tried that one. So. Brian asked, "Do you think a who's a member of the channel? Thank you, Brian, for being a member. You get all kinds of benefits if you are, including the green icon they have, and that icon evolves the longer you're a member for. Do you think a Mario baseball game could happen? We were talking about this.
Yep.
I think it's possible because we think it's possible. It's the only one left. The only one of the major sports games not represented yet on Switch. So I just hope it's not like the other sports games on Switch. Anyways." We are 3 minutes away, and I'm almost out of breath already. Good God.
Yeah.
Luckily, we'll be talking a little less during the direct. Chat, once again, once it actually starts, please let me know how it actually sounds. We can't tell ourselves. I'm gonna have it on close to full volume, so let me know if I need to turn it down. Let me know specifically if I need to turn the stream down a little bit if you can't hear us. Well, obviously we're not gonna try talking over the entire thing, but yeah, we're so close. What's your hype at, Nick? What's your hype at?
Right now, I don't know if I can think of a number because my hype's more excited for the Switch 2 Direct, which we knew for
I
such
know
a long
that's
time.
what's so
We
weird
only known
about
this
this.
for like 2 days, so my hype right now put me at like a 7 or an 8. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like it kind of like it's like we're taking this weird detour to get to the Switch too, and like I don't know what I should be excited for. I am getting like that a little bit of nervous energy right now, but it just might be the coffee kicking in. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we are just over a minute away. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm excited. Diddy Kong Racing HD? That'd be a surprise. Can you imagine if Rare actually came back for that? I don't think.
Diddy Kong Racing is still not on NSO.
It
So
isn't.
do we think they're gonna release those final first party games for NSO, like Smash 64, Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing? Like those games are still not there.
I mean, they'll have to eventually, but yeah, I don't think it's likely that they talk about NSO today outside of any specific game functions
Yeah.
for yeah. So I would, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see those there, but those would be just Twitter drops as they normally are. I think so. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, I agree.
I think
Sneakers. It's saying Diddy Kong Racing is better than Mario Kart 64. I agree that the single player absolutely way better. When it comes to multiplayer, I think I would still give Mario Kart 64 the slight edge because the problem with Diddy Kong Racing is that it's not a problem per se, but like the better there's no inherent balancing to it in that if you're good, you're going to constantly outperform your friends. Whereas
Yeah.
Mario Kart fixed that. Sorry, I do want to say something, Nick, but we got another super chat. Nico Demo, once again, thank you, says, I would love to see Wario World Collection HD, Zelda, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess HD remasters, or Mario Tennis and Mario Soccer. Well, that's a lot of things to throw out there, so let's hope one of them comes true. So, thank you for the super chat. We're 1 minute away, less than a minute away. Oh my god. I'm excited and nervous now. I don't know what to think.
Is it still the coffee or?
I don't know.
Is
Who
it your
knows?
statement?
It's probably just tiredness. I might just be like having a heart attack or something and don't realize it. But I do think we'll see a new Kirby. I think that's a remaster.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I might have started yet, Nick. So okay, now mine is. I'm on the ESRB screen, and then I'll tell you when it goes off. It's off now. Correct. Okay. All right, chat. Let us know how the volume is. Is it too loud? Too quiet? Let me know, please. All right, you can go right in the first thing, right? You have to. Yep.
Oh.
Is that's Dragon Quest?
Yeah, this is, I think, HD 2D. I don't think this has a release date yet. I could be wrong.
I recognize this music more than anything else about this series at this
Yeah,
point.
I do too. Them starting with this, I'm just hoping that they end with Banjo-Kazooie like they did in 2019 or the 2018 Direct at E3.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. What Banjo's in this game?
I would have to play it.
Quest 3 HD 2D remake. All right. Yeah. I like the art style. I probably won't play it, but.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shinya Takahashi, and I'll be your guide for today's Nintendo Direct.
People are saying
Today,
the volume is
we'll be
quiet.
providing information
Lower
on
direct
upcoming
volume.
Nintendo Switch games.
Seems like it's all over the place. Can you guys hear us
We'll
well?
also have a Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd.
I turned down the volume a
So
little bit,
please
chat.
tune in for that
Do we
as
sound
well.
better now?
What you just saw was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake from Square Enix. Another character appeared at the end. What kind of adventure awaits? We hope you're excited for more information in the future.
Okay, turn down a little bit more, chat. Is that good?
Okay, let's see the first batch of headlines.
Headlines. Okay,
Here
so
we
no huge announcements here. Maybe Metroid Prime.
Escape from dire straits.
2 or 3, I mean. That's a big number.
Until oxygen 0.
That sounded like, ah!
Yeah. Get me out of here.
She should be a little bit more urgent.
The latest entry in the The Somnium Files series is stirring. You are Kaname Date, a special agent with a sophisticated AI called Aiba embedded in his left eye. Your mission is to track down Iris, an internet idol who has been trapped in a mysterious escape game. Conduct interviews to investigate Iris's whereabouts. Dive into a subject's dreams to reveal clues hidden deep within their psyche. And solve mind-bending puzzles in an explorable environment. Everything you learn will bring you one step closer to the truth. Uncover what's hidden in reality and dreams to rescue Iris. No sleep for Kaname.
Every time I hear
Date
Iris,
from
I'm
The
reminded
Somnium
of
Files
Beyond Good and
launches
Evil.
on the
That's
Nintendo
what the
Switch
network
system
there was called
July
too.
25th.
I've never played it. I want to play it though.
Unleash the supernatural.
Just reminds me of Punch-Out on NES
A
when you're
classic
running
Atlas
away.
action
Oh,
RPG returns
Like,
with remastered HD graphics and enhanced gameplay. Set in the capital city in the year Taisho 20, Raido Kuzunoha makes his living as an apprentice detective. But unbeknownst to others, he also fights alongside demons as a devil summoner. To protect the capital, Raido must investigate a series of supernatural cases. Fight in real-time battles alongside demons you summon. Work with your demons to strike an enemy's weak point, then follow up with a powerful attack. Cooperation is the key to victory. You can even turn opposing demons into allies. Demons can also be useful outside of battle,
It feels a little
and
Pokemon-like.
their powers are helpful
Yeah,
in
I
finding
believe this is
solutions
Atlas.
during
because I just saw Jack
investigations.
Frost. I was like, oh, I'm getting like Persona vibes.
Oh, okay.
Guide Raido through a series of strange incidents
I assume you're the bird who gave us a call?
as he uncovers a conspiracy that will shake the capital to its core. Raido Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, launches on Nintendo Switch
Soulless
June 19.
Army.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
It sounds like an insult.
It does.
Consume darkness. With your memories gone, you have been summoned to a strange, unfamiliar world
Oh, is this the
where you're
Pac-Man
greeted
game?
by a
Oh, it
yellow
is.
orb known as Puck.
I like the art style.
But who is this spherical stranger? Moored in a mysterious,
This
maze-like
looks a weird
world,
spin-off.
your battle
It's
for
so
survival
bizarre.
begins. As
I like
guides
it,
you
though.
on your journey, you'll delve deeper into the expansive world. By examining your surroundings, you can phase shift and combine with Puck to explore areas you couldn't reach before. But tread lightly. The creatures inhabiting this world will prove hostile. When facing imposing enemies, you and Puck can temporarily fuse into the Gaia form to unleash
Why are they calling him
powerful
Puck,
attacks.
not Pack?
I think I don't know if it's true, but it's not Program.
By consuming your prey, you'll collect resources
but they were afraid if
that
you
can then be
scratched out the
used
P
to
and the
enhance
F,
your
that
abilities.
they have to change it to Pac-Man.
I do know, yeah, I remember
Work
that
to
DJ.
uncover Puck's true goal and devour enemies to survive this cruel world. Experience a dark twist on the iconic Pac-Man when Shadow Labyrinth launches on Nintendo Switch July 18th.
I'm curious to try that. Like, it does look interesting, so...
The rhythmic march begins.
Wait, is this Patapon?
Yeah, it looks like Patapon. It is!
Remasters of Patapon and Patapon 2 are drumming onto Nintendo Switch as one bundle.
Whoa.
Play your drum to the beat and give different commands to the Patapon army. For example, Pata 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 Pawn advances them forward, while Pawn Pawn Pata Pawn has them attack. And if you string together combos with good timing, the Patapons enter fever mode and get a big boost in power. From the horse-riding Kiba Pawn to the shield-savvy Tate Pawn, build up your battalion to take on hordes of fierce foes. Plus, new features have been added, so you can advance to the beat of your own drum.
It was on PSP originally, right?
Yeah, the first one was PSP.
Yeah.
Lead the Patapons and march forth when Patapon 1+2 Replay launches on Nintendo Switch
Stupid
July
music's
11th.
already stuck in my head.
Patapon.
Metroid Prime. No.
Welcome to Zackertown, a cozy place nestled in a windswept valley. This is where your new life begins.
Is there a farming sim?
Yeah.
First cropping up on the Nintendo DS system, this immersive farming and life sim has no shortage of activities to get up to.
Oh, you must be the new farmer.
Tend to your farm while growing crops and caring for animals.
Those are some big cows.
Then sell your produce
They're
and other
giant
wares
birds.
at the
Eat you.
town's weekly bazaar. As bazaar sales grow, you'll help the once famous market regain its former splendor.
Inspiring, honestly.
You can also get to know the locals
I'd like to spend more time with you.
And maybe nurture a relationship if you find that special someone. Plus, taking advantage of Zephyr Town's windy conditions can make travel and other tasks a breeze.
Every game just stealing that
Yeah.
cape mechanic or glider mechanic.
The winds of change are coming, and your new life on the farm begins when Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar launches on the Nintendo Switch system August 27th.
Please look forward.
Are we
to the
finally
latest
moving into the
entry in Story
Nintendo portion of the
Seasons
Direct?
series.
Oh, we're like 4 or 5 games in.
Yo, we're already a third through the Direct.
Next, please take a look at this.
More headlines. Okay, this has to be. It's a first-party game. Metroid. Sounds like Metroid. Looks
Yeah,
like
it's
Metroid.
gotta be.
Yeah, that's a tree from Metroid. That's a tree. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a Metroid.
Whoa.
Yeah, there it is. That looks pretty.
Woo!
Dude, she's warping. Yo.
There's the music.
Oh man, we're actually gonna get gameplay. We're gonna get gameplay here. Yes.
Nice.
This is the unknown planet Vuros. Here, Samus finds a verdant jungle with a colossal tree at its center.
It's a weenie for theme park fans.
In order to survive and escape this planet that she was unexpectedly transported to, Samus must scan stone figures and other relics to carve a path forward.
Yeah, you should have Wall who's boss.
She's not alone, though. Abhorrent, alien creatures living in the jungle are
Looks like
waiting to
liquor.
strike.
It does.
Yo, this looks cool.
I'm digging the music.
Those backgrounds look sick.
As she explores the planet, Samus is granted mysterious and ancient powers. Psychic abilities.
Sidekick abilities. Oh, what?
These powers allow Samus to operate mechanisms and to open doors. They also allow her to control the trajectory of her beams
Oh, what
with
the?
the power of her mind.
Holy crap.
Perfect for a mouse. Perfect for a
But
mouse.
why were these powers bestowed upon Samus?
All right. I like how one ability is opening doors. That's everything she does.
And what will be her fate after being summoned to Vuros?
Dude,
The threads
that's ugly.
intertwining beyond space and time are beginning to weave a new tale.
All right. Pretty good look at it.
Yeah.
I feel like that wasn't a ton. Okay, maybe. I liked it though. That looks really cool. That looked really good. Oh.
A little more.
Whoa. Multiplayer? Is this multiplayer? No, a new villain? Like Dark Samus 2?
It looks like even more challenges await Samus.
Release date?
We hope you're looking forward to exploring with Samus's new psychic abilities. Okay, let's move on.
No
to
release
some more
date.
headlines.
Yeah, no release
Maybe
date.
next
That's
week.
shocking.
Maybe during April 2nd we'll get it.
Ready
Yeah,
to
weird. I
stir
don't know.
up some mischief?
All right. I
I
thought.
think every other game has been June to
Once
August.
upon a time, there
Metro
was
was
a
like the first one
drab
with no
coffee
date or
shop
anything.
Yeah, it's so strange.
transformed
I wonder if
into a
there's more to come
magical
next
potion
week.
Cafe. As the newest potionista of the Cursed Cafe,
How are we feeling about that? I
Concoctions
liked
for
it.
Disney
I was hoping to see a little bit more of
and
Metroid Prime
get to
4, though,
know
I'll be
them
honest.
in a new light.
Yeah, I think I
Mix
still need to see
ingredients
more.
to
And
bring
again,
all
like
sorts of
seeing the new
strange
ability with her
elixirs.
using her left
Then
hand,
serve them
the
to
psychic
your
abilities,
villainous
like again, that would
visitors,
be ideal
including
for
Ursula
a mouse and
and
keyboard, especially when
Gaston.
you're controlling
With
your
help from
Shiga.
Yzma, you can upgrade your ingredients to produce some wild.
Chat's freaking out. We're back to third parties now. I
The
know.
potions you make
We had that brief,
influence each
the brief
customer's
high,
skill
the
level,
very brief
leading
high,
to
then back
different
cratering to
outcomes
the
every
ground.
time you play.
And we're about halfway
Who
through,
knows
so
what
who knows how many
mischief
more first
might
parties we're
happen.
gonna get.
Yeah,
Disney
there'll be
Villain's
at least one more, I
Cursed
predict. At
Cafe
least one more.
Launches on
Probably two
Nintendo
more,
Switch
I hope.
later today.
There's our shadow drop.
Yeah.
Summon a spellbinding adventure.
Okay, I like the art style.
Oh.
Is it like Kiki's delivery
Welcome to
service or
Witchbrook
whatever?
College, where students strive to
no.
master the
Yeah,
magical arts.
Witchbrook. Oh my god.
During
this
class, use magic
No,
circles
this. I mean,
to
I think
perform
this has been.
rituals,
They've been working on this for such a
fly
long
on
time.
brooms,
Yeah, that's cool.
and learn advanced techniques to go from witch in training to skilled spellcaster. There's also plenty to do outside of class. Hang out with friends at their homes. Take on various jobs to help pay for tuition. Or use the spells you've learned to craft and sell original items. Plus, up to 4 players can make magic together in online co-op. Explore this whimsical world on the road to graduation and beyond. Are you ready for a spellbinding journey? Enrollment begins when
I see what they did there.
Witchbrook flies onto Nintendo
Spellbinding.
Switch this holiday.
Not slow.
Action, adventure,
Oh, okay.
and arcade games await.
Arcade games. Are they bringing
Set off on
Donkey
a
Kong?
fantastical mission to eliminate a mysterious deity.
That looks
In
sick.
this hand-drawn
looks
platforming
awesome.
adventure,
Yeah,
you'll
I like the art
explore an
style.
expansive archipelago
Let's
where
go on the hand-drawn
nightmares
Mario.
and wonder collide. Upgrade your
In the
trusty
style of, like,
cane
Cuphead
with
or
magical
something. I
parts.
would love
then
that.
use its abilities to find your own path through the enchanting world. Can you uncover the secrets the archipelago holds? Find out when the Eternal Life of Goldman launches on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
I agree with Rob, but they think that we'll get released different Metroid Prime
Celebrate
4
the
on April
40th
2nd.
anniversary
I think we're
of
seeing more on
Radius
April
with a
2nd.
collection of arcade shoot-'em-up games from across the series. Titles include Gradius, Salamander, Life Force, Gradius 2, Gradius 3, and Salamander 2. Some titles come with multiple versions, including ones from different regions and launch years. Plus, take the helm in a brand new entry, Salamander 3. Gradius Origins launches on the Nintendo
Those
Switch
don't look like
system August
salamanders.
7th. Pre-orders
can't fool
begin
me.
later today on Nintendo eShop. Battle to the beat in Rift of the Necro Dancer.
Oh, this still
Press
isn't
the
out, is it?
corresponding buttons in each
I
lane
think
to
it came out
fight
on
monsters
Steam
in
only, but I don't
rhythm-based
think it's out on
combat.
Switch
Keep
yet.
the cadence
Maybe it's
going with
DLC.
epic
That's
boss
pretty
battles,
cool. I went and played
quirky
it, like, a
minigames,
couple years ago. It
remixed
packs.
stages, and global leaderboards. Plus, more musical mayhem awaits in the Celeste Music Pack paid DLC.
Oh, Celeste Music Pack?
And
Oh, hell
be on the
yeah.
lookout for
Oh,
more
and was it
DLC
Pizza
in the
Time?
future.
That's crazy.
Rift of the Necro Dancer launches on
Some
Nintendo
good,
Switch
collabs.
later today. Let's see what's in store.
No,
Tomodachi.
let's not.
Welcome to Tamagotchi Plaza, a brand new entry in the Tamagotchi Connection series. There are stores galore. Design glasses at the eyewear shop. Polish pearly whites solo or with a friend at the dentist. And
wish black looked
arranged
that
plates at
pleasant.
the afternoon tea shop. 12 wonderful stores need your help. Provide good customer service to get high ratings and upgrade each shop. In doing so, you'll get to meet more Tamagotchi, making the town livelier than before. With over 100 new and classic Tamagotchi, business is sure to be booming. Get ready to set up shop when Tamagotchi Plaza launches on Nintendo Switch June
That
27th.
looks like an extremely adorable game I will never play.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not gonna play it. Oh, Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
Wow.
entirely sure this would appear or not. We just saw this a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Are they gonna show Megas?
Welcome to Pokemon Legends ZA, a new title in the Pokemon series.
That double jump looks
You'll
really
begin
weird.
your adventure by
It does.
choosing one of 3 partner
You just
Pokemon.
fly with your phone.
The setting is this metropolis that also appeared in the Pokemon X and Pokemon Y games, Lumio City. To make it easier for people and Pokemon to coexist, a company named Quasartico Inc. is carrying out an urban redevelopment plan. Here, we'll get a glimpse into the lives of the Pokemon and people of Lumio City. Scattered all over town are wild zones. These areas are special environments where wild Pokemon can live comfortably, even within the city. You can catch Pokemon here, but they might be hostile. If you sense trouble, get to safety.
I thought the pig was chasing him for a
There are
second.
Pokemon
Give me my
that live
money!
outside
Pokemon.
wild zones too. Some of them can even be found on rooftops. People and
How'd they get up
Pokemon
there?
live easygoing lives in Lumio City. But when night falls, the city's aura transforms. Highly skilled trainers are invited to participate in a tournament, the ZA Royale.
Oh,
Weird.
what?
Some weird
Trainers
nightlife
await
thing
in
happening.
battle zones. If you're spotted, they'll challenge you to battle.
This is kind of awesome.
Strike first before being seen, and you'll land a surprise attack. During battles, using a super effective move at the right moment is key. And with Mega Evolution, some Pokemon can power up even more. You'll start at rank Z and work your way up to rank A.
Oh, Z to A, I get it.
Trainers who reach the top are said to have a wish granted. Day and night are 2 sides to Lumio City.
Do we have a
It
release date
seems
yet?
there are even more
No release
secrets
date.
waiting
You think we
to
get
be
one?
uncovered. What will you find
I think so,
on
yeah.
your adventure?
I think you're right.
Pokemon
Oh,
Legends
no.
ZA
Jeez.
launches on Nintendo Switch
right.
later this year.
So after Switch 2,
In Lumio City, where the game is set, the aura transforms between day and night. It seems there are even more secrets.
I'm gonna be
to
honest,
uncover.
Nick. At this point, I'm
Please
not
be on
feeling
the
too
lookout
hopeful about the
for
future
more
of the
information
Switch.
in the future.
I'm not either. I'm like, oh man, they really don't have a lot.
Please
No.
take a look at this.
Come on, Mario Baseball. No,
Hello there.
it's like Undertale or something.
This Rhythm Heaven?
Oh, no,
The
that makes
game
way more
you're about
sense.
to see. Boop. Doesn't have a big, epic story. Boop. But what it does have is lots of funny little rhythm games.
Oh my God, it is.
You wanna see?
The sound effects are straight from it. That's awesome. Holy crap! Did
Just
not
press the
expect
button
this.
to jump through the ring. It sounds easy,
Yeah, get bent, little white dude.
but the timing is super tricky. Boop. Maybe you could try it in time to a rhythm.
That
You
might
got
help.
it, buddy.
All right, we got a whole posse here now.
In this game, you might do almost anything, but you'll need to do it in rhythm. With practice, you might even be able to play it with your eyes closed.
Get into the rhythm with a brand new entry in the Rhythm Heaven series, Rhythm Heaven Groove.
All right. That's a surprise. 2026? What? All right. Well, that's okay.
That was Rhythm Heaven
Maybe there is some
Groove,
future of the
a
Switch.
brand new entry in the Rhythm Heaven
Wow,
series.
a year away.
It includes lots of music produced by renowned Japanese musician Tsunku. What kinds of rhythms do you think you'll hear?
All right, that's a legit
We
shock.
hope you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. This is awesome.
Next, we have news about the use of digital games on your system.
Oh.
Please take a look.
NSO upgrades? GameCube? I don't know. I have no idea.
With game cards,
Oh no.
you can put a game featuring Mario in this Nintendo Switch system and a Legend of Zelda game in this one, freely inserting the games you have on hand into any system you want. But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards?
No way.
Well, here's what we came up with. Introducing the Virtual Game Card.
No way.
In the future, virtual game cards can be used for digital games.
Wait. What?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah. What's this mean?
When purchasing the digital version of a game, it will be loaded onto your system as a virtual game card, allowing you to play that title.
Okay. This is cool. so
Your
far.
digital games will be lined up as virtual game cards on a dedicated management screen.
We can load a whole bunch?
Here, you can load and eject your virtual game cards and manage which games you can play on your system.
I still don't get it.
Can you share these? Like, okay, here, yeah.
If you have two Nintendo Switch systems, you can eject a virtual game card from one and load it onto the second. Now you can play this game on the second system wherever and whenever you want.
Can you already
Yeah,
do this with the
Just as
account?
if you
I thought
had
this was
inserted
an
a
option.
physical game card. With virtual game cards, you can freely load and arrange which games you play on up to two systems.
I'm so confused.
Local communication with your second system is required, but only the first time. You can also lend out virtual game cards to your Nintendo account family group members.
That's pretty cool.
Connect to
yeah.
your family group member system via local wireless when you want to lend a game.
So these are based on physical
Choose
cards,
the
right?
title you're
That's a
lending.
distinction, I think.
And
like-
who
No,
you're
I
lending
think they
it
said
to.
it's all digital.
It's not. You don't need the original physical card. It's all everything's digital.
And
Yeah,
you're
my-
done.
Yeah.
They can now play on their own system. You can only lend one game at a time to a particular person. Games can be lent out for 2 weeks, after
Okay.
which they will automatically return to you,
All right, this is
making
cool.
digital games even easier to use.
Okay, but it's only for
Virtual
digital.
game card.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, that's cool. I'm still a little confused because
The virtual game card feature lets you swap games between Nintendo Switch systems.
okay, no, I get it. Yeah.
as well
Okay,
as
that's
to
cool. That's
Nintendo
actually a good
Switch
feature.
2 systems.
I wish that they have to be in your
This
family plan
feature
though,
is
right?
planned to be
They have to
added
be your
via
family
a
plan.
system
Yeah,
update
that's-
in late April.
That's very
Let's
limited.
take a look at more Nintendo
That
Switch
has to be
games.
something else with Switch 2, right?
Maybe. Oh, and he said also Switch 2? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, totally. And life.
I really thought it was going to be like, oh, you can get your physical games to your Switch and then
That's
get
all I'm
access
thinking,
to the
yeah.
digital game. That's, I thought it was that.
Yeah, it's a good feature. It's like, it being limited to your friend group or your friend or your family plan really limits it, I think. That's really...
On top of that, I think you can only do it locally. I think that's what they say.
Is
You
it
have to
only
be
local?
next- I think so. I think you have to be next to the person with their Switch.
Chat, is
It's
that
not-
right?
It's not like we're on the family plan. I don't think I could share it to you because we're not
Oh
next
my-
to each other in person.
God, that's... The Rob
It's like
says
they
no.
almost had it. They almost had
Okay,
it.
chat's saying no. It's only
you
the, wait,
can-
only the first time? Wait, I'm confused about that. So you have to do it once with someone locally before you can share more with them anywhere?
Even if they're on, does that have to be family plan?
Uncover history
I don't know.
once more.
For linking need to be local.
An HD remaster of Saga Frontier 2 is venturing on to Nintendo
I feel like they could have been clearer on it. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm just stupid. I felt like that was a confusing way of presenting that.
Two heroes whose fates and legacies will intertwine across generations in this epic RPG. Experience the original story, along with brand new events that expand the vibrant world of Sondale.
Yeah, I agree, Retro Life. That's such a shame.
Plus, team up with more characters in battle. And transfer stats to allies through the parameter inheritance system. After finishing the main story, you can test your mettle and might against even more powerful bosses. What histories will you uncover through the ages? Saga Frontier 2 Remastered launches on Nintendo Switch later today. Monumental adventures await.
Do we get any more first-party games? There has to be one more thing, right? We're at 30 minutes now, by the way.
At this point, I
Across
think
this series of
You think
beautiful
so?
puzzle games.
Yeah, because the only new game, first-party game, was Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm
right?
Heaven.
That's next
We've
year.
had one announcement. We've had one freaking announcement, chat, for first party. Don't get me wrong. Good announcement. Great announcement.
Yeah.
We didn't see it coming.
Monument Valley, lead the silent princess
But we
Ida
didn't
in
even
her
get
quest
dates for Metroid or
while
Pokemon. I'm so
outsmarting
confused.
enigmatic
Honestly, yeah, I mean,
people.
Metroid Prime 4 didn't show us all that much
different
more. You know, like,
journey awaits in
it looks beautiful, we knew
Monument
that.
Valley 2.
We found out about the psychic
Guide
abilities,
Ro
which is
in her
cool.
adventure
I mean,
through motherhood
it felt
as
more like
she and her
establishing
child
the
unlock
setting
the
and
secrets
story a
of the
little bit,
sacred
right?
geometry.
Like, more the setting.
Both games contain all their additional chapters, add-ons, and DLC.
Maybe,
The
Rob.
first
Yeah, we'll
two
see.
Monument Valley games launch on Nintendo Switch April 15th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. And help Noor on her journey to restore the world's light in Monument Valley 3, setting sail on Nintendo Switch this
Mike
summer.
says Kirby time. Maybe. No, Wii Sports, right? No, it's Game Out Final, yeah. Or Switch Sports, I meant.
A brand new entry in the Everybody's Golf series.
Oh, this is like the real Mario
onto
Golf.
Nintendo Switch.
I think it still has a classic meter. Yeah, it does. That's why did Mario Golf get rid of the classic meter, Nick? It's so good.
And take
I
your
haven't
shot.
played the new one, but when I played the GameCube one and the 64 one, that was one of my favorite features.
It's so
You can
fun.
obviously tell.
Yeah, it's a great
Another
fun
special
feature.
shots.
Sus
In the
says
single-player
Game Out Final
challenge
still
mode,
represents Switch
compete in
Sports.
tournaments and face off against
right.
a range of rivals to become the ultimate golfer. In Wacky Golf, your shots could get pulled into holes, or obstacles might fall. It's
Was that
golf, it's
Monolith?
not quite
Like a
par
2001
for the
Space
course.
Odyssey Monolith that just dropped
Up
in?
to 4 golfers
Are they about to
can play
evolve?
together locally or in online play. So just relax and get ready to tee off. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots lands on Nintendo Switch this year. Unite some of Marvel's greatest superheroes in the
Marvel
fight
beat 'em up?
against evil. Pair up 2 heroes from the roster of 15, including the likes of the spectacular Spider-Man
I think this
and the
is new.
ferocious Wolverine to take on the challenge.
It
From
looks
close
old,
quarters
but it
combatants
could still
to
be
aerial
new.
aces, you can mix and match a variety of heroes for an
looks
amazing
awesome.
array of possibilities. And swap between your team of 2
It
at
really looks like a
any time.
90s arcade game.
Take advantage of your team's strengths to overwhelm your foes. Plus, up to 4 players can assemble for local or online co-op play. The battle for the fate of the Marvel Universe begins when Marvel Cosmic Invasion launches on the Nintendo Switch system this holiday.
Oh, that's cool.
That was Marvel Cosmic Invasion,
One more thing.
where you'll battle as
One
a
more
tag
thing.
team of different superheroes.
One more thing.
Next is our last game announcement.
All right.
Please take a look.
Come on, Mario
Oh my
Baseball. No, not Mario Baseball.
No. Animal Crossing? No. Oh, Tomodachi?
Yeah, you're right.
refreshing. Hiya.
That's how I feel at the gym. Live feed of me at the gym.
Tomodachi Life. Living the dream.
Wow, this is gonna make people happy.
So robotic.
Yeah, it is. 2026? What is happening, Nintendo? What is happening? That took way too long. Oh, what the?
Did you want to talk?
Okay, that one, I'm sold.
Glad that was only a dream.
That was hilarious. That was great. All right.
That was Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. The first new entry in the series in over 10 years.
Dang.
In the trailer, we saw Mii characters living on an island out at sea. What kinds of interactions do you think they'll have? We hope you're looking forward to it. Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct so far.
So far. Is there more?
Our final announcement is something a little different that's not a game. Here's Mr. Miyamoto to introduce it.
Pikmin Bloom 2, baby! Here we go!
I'm Shigeru Miyamoto.
Movie?
Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct.
I hope so.
Since 2011, Nintendo Direct has delivered Nintendo news directly to you.
You did it! You did the thing!
And now, these presentations have grown into an event that many people watch. Thank you all very much.
That can't be good.
We'll continue to broadcast Nintendo Direct presentations, but we're also launching a new channel based on the concept of delivering information to you directly.
Okay.
This is a smart device app called Nintendo Today.
It better be out today.
Which functions like a daily calendar. In the app, you can view different Nintendo events. We will also be delivering all sorts of content about Nintendo games and characters every day. After the Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd, news about Nintendo Switch 2 will be delivered to you daily and directly through the Nintendo Today app as well. Nintendo Today will be available to download on smart devices later today.
All right, it is available today, to their
Anyone
credit.
with a Nintendo account can use the app, so please try it out.
It feels just kind of like having like their Twitter feed in an app.
That's all I have to share. I hope you enjoy using Nintendo Today.
All right, well, could be cute. It's another Nintendo app though on my phone now. It's
That's all
3.
for today's Nintendo Direct. Thank you for watching.
See, that's the kind of thing that makes sense to incorporate into the main NSO app, right? Like that would, I don't need a separate app for that. I mean, it's cool. Like, I don't hate it. It's just weird. Yeah, exactly. Name not down says, why do they need 100 different apps? Exactly. But Splatoon 3 doesn't have its own app, which would make sense for it to have its own app. It's in the NSO app for some reason. Oh, that was a weird Direct, Nick.
That was so bizarre. Games that we knew that were coming out this year, first-party games, didn't even get a release date. New games that are coming out next year are completely random. It was such an oddball Direct. And I guess, I mean, for the Switch one's possibly solo final Direct, I guess it kind of made sense, but so many weird things, especially the cart sharing. Like, can we talk about that? That was just...
Can we? I don't know how we talk about that. Like, it's such a confusing feature, though. So, okay, wait. So I understand you buy games digitally, like we have been, or, you know, if you buy a game digitally, you need a digital version. You can share that with your friends on your friend list for 2 weeks, right? That's it, basically, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's like, yeah, if you had the game physically, if you shared it with a friend, but it would disappear after 2 weeks. That's basically it.
Why did they take 3 minutes to explain this? I did it in 10 seconds. Chet, am I just stupid? I thought the way they explained it was really confusing. But I feel like the way I explained it makes sense. Unless I totally have it off base here. Chris Carpenter here. Illuminati of the channel. They say Prime 4 did not hit the way it should have. I kind of agree. I think, I want to stress, I think it looks great. I'm excited to play it. It looks awesome. But I feel like they're not, like, the second trailer usually blows us away for Nintendo games. This one, it just felt like more. You know, more of what we've seen. I appreciate getting more information, but then, like, sitting here on the edge of my seat or anything. So
yeah, that psychic feature, like you would expect it to be on a bigger scale. Or maybe we have to discover that more in the game. But yeah, what we saw so far for a second trailer, yeah, I wasn't blown away. Like I'm excited to play it, but I was expecting just a little bit more from that trailer.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm hoping we get more next week. That could be why. I mean, I think they needed it here because this Metroid Prime 4 did a lot of heavy lifting this direct. I will say though, I mean, full credit, Rhythm Heaven, huge surprise. I'm excited for that. Tomodachi Life, whatever it's called. What was the name? Do you remember?
Tomodachi.
It's okay. That also not quite my game, but I know a lot of people are gonna be very excited for it. So that's awesome. But that's only what. Sorry.
Living the Dream. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream.
Thank you, yeah. So we only got really 2 game announcements, right? And they're both next year!
Yeah.
Like,
and nothing that people were speculating, no Fire Emblem, no Kirby, no GameCube games like Metroid 2 and 3. Like, what? Is Metroid 2 and 3 ever coming out?
I don't think so at this point. I honestly don't think so. This is crazy. And we didn't even get a release date for anything else from Nintendo.
No.
Man, that was a weird direct. I wonder, like, could this objectively be the worst direct? Not to say it didn't have anything of value, it's just really weird.
I think it's more so like, yeah, on the more bizarre side, right? Like, them explaining for 3 minutes how to share virtual games with friends, where you just did it in like 30 seconds. It's like, okay, and then the app at the end, it's like, oh yeah, we already have 2 apps on our phone. Why do we need to? Why aren't they just all together? Why isn't it a Nintendo specific app? Why do I have a calendar? Why do I have like one for the Switch? Why do I have one for music? Like, why can't they just be bundled together?
Yeah, exactly. It's too many apps now. I already opened, but Chet, am I the only one who constantly opens the NSO app by mistake when I want to open Nintendo Music? Because they're both red and right next to each other. Ecto Knight with a super chat. Thank you, Ecto Knight, says, pretty sure Metroid Prime 4 is going to get Breath of the Wild treatment and be on Switch 2 and get blown away with that trailer next week. 1000%. I've been saying this for a while. I feel even more confident in that now. I was actually, to be honest, I was a little worried. I mean, not actual worried. Only worried that my prediction might not come true, and it still might not. Because I'm like, well, they have a Switch 1 Direct. Of course, Metroid Prime 4 has to be there. Does that mean it's Switch 1 based, exclusive, essentially? I'm more confident than ever now. It's going to have Switch 2 functionality, and we'll see it next week. Then watch me have egg in my face again.
Yeah, so, I mean, speaking of the Switch 2 Direct, like, how many other Switch 2 games are we going to see coming out this year, right? Because the new games that they showed are coming out next year, and then we have Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon. It's like, what else does Nintendo have for this year?
Why even have this Direct? Everything first party they announced is coming out next year, except for Nintendo Today, ironically, So it's so weird. Yamin with a super chat, super chat. Thank you. Says lukewarm, hence so close to Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it should have been expected. I mean, it probably should have been, but even I was expecting a little bit. I mean, I think, yeah, the lack of Kirby, honestly, the lack of Kirby and lack of Metroid Primes are the biggest surprise in terms of remasters. So. Okay, hold on. Empty Zach says, they made it sound like you can only use your digital games between 2 systems now. So what if you want to use a Switch 2, Switch OLED, and Switch Lite? Did I miss something? No, I think you have it right, Zach. I think you can only share...
I think it's only 2 now.
Now, I will say, though... Now, hold on. Maybe I need to rewatch it. When you share a game, do you lose access then, or do you keep it?
No, I believe you lose access. It's like if I gave you a physical game, I can't play it because I don't have it in my possession.
Right. Okay.
So it's a digital game. Yeah.
That's why that's where I got confused initially, because they kept calling it a virtual game. But they kept using the imagery of a physical game, and that just made it more confusing for me. I'm like, wait, do I need the physical game first to plug it in, and then I can I thought initially, what I thought they were pitching was like you can like install the game cards to your Switch, and then you don't need the game cards anymore.
That's what I was thinking, because I have a huge, and probably like you, like I have a huge physical collection. It's like if I can just put that in and just not have to worry about going to the shelf and grabbing the game, that would be perfect. But no, it's more catered to a digital only library person.
Right. Alice NFT says Metroid doesn't look that exciting. I think I don't think it's fair to judge off that trailer. I mean, I think it's going to be a Metroid Prime game, right? So I think that's what it comes down to. I do agree these trailers aren't doing an amazing job of selling the game. Like even the sidekick abilities, I think they look cool, like being able to aim your shots or whatever. But even they didn't present it in the most interesting way, I think. And I'm sure it'll be fine in game. At least I hope it is. But yeah, something's weird. But again, it won't even matter. We didn't expect this direct till yesterday, or the day before in our case, because we did the predictions. So I don't know. The whole thing's weird. We got a super chat from Tomer. Thank you, Tomer. Says this was very bad direct. Most games are third party. No one cares, and they look like bad Pokemon. And the virtual game is bad in the long run. I'm curious. So why do you think that's bad in the long run? It may be. I could be missing something. I think it's almost like a nothing burger in the long run.
Is Tomer talking about the like the game sharing feature?
The game. I think game sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Although a lot of chat agrees with them, so or some people in chat are agreeing with them, but Koopa King says they're kind of high for Monument Valley, and hey, that's completely fair. There were some good third-party announcements here, including Patapon. That's exciting, especially for those who add a PSP or play the game otherwise, and that's fun. But yeah, it's like this was almost a partner direct in everything but name.
Yeah, and Andre, are you a person that uses multiple Switch systems, or do you just use your one?
I just use a one.
Yeah, so like this feature is like gonna be nothing to you then, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I can't share, like I have, I've got some family members on my Switch, but and a handful of friends, on my family plan. I mean, sorry, but like they usually buy the games anyway, so I wouldn't be sharing it with them. Is the people I would share it with, like they're not on my family plan, and that's what. The family plan, honestly, if they got rid of the family plan thing, it'll be a way better feature. I don't know why they locked into the freaking family plan. Only way I can think is they want to sell more family plans, and this is another bullet point for it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Or maybe there was a point where people were just adding random people to their family plan, and maybe they want actually people that are close to each other. Because like I said, I think they make one point where you have to be next to the person for the first time, and then after that you can do it online. So it's like, what if they didn't want you just doing it with random people online? So it's like, okay, like you actually have to know this person in real life.
That's also dumb. I mean, I kind of get in the sense that, if you're a physical game, you basically have to do that too unless you mail it to someone. But at the same time, it's like, this could have been the time to do something really cool. I mean, I guess what they don't want is you just sharing it with, like, literally everyone in your community or whatever, right? Like, hey, random, people in my Discord, do you want to play this game for 2 weeks? Hey, go nuts. So maybe they, I think there's a middle ground there where maybe they could cap it, like, you want to share a game, a few times a year or something, right? Or that specific game, rather. But I don't know. I feel like there has to be a better workaround. Yamin, thank you for the super chat. Says one day Wind Waker and Twilight will be announced. God, I hope. I think they're Switch 2 at this point. I think they're Switch 2.
So do you think we see that next week then? Like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess?
We'll see one of them. Well, actually, I take that back. I don't know if we will see it next week. I think we'll see it within the first year. Because I don't think there's going to be a major new Zelda ready, as we touched on in our discussion. And, yeah, so...
Yeah, especially since we just got Echoes of Wisdom, not even a year ago. So that game is still relatively new.
Sorry, what game? Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah, you're right. Good point. That just really came out. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because this Direct changes almost nothing about what I was predicting for the Switch 2 Direct. Like, I was thinking that maybe we'd get a release date here for Metroid Prime 1 and that we wouldn't see it next week. It's like, it's a Switch 1 focused game. But now I'm like, it's still going to be Switch 2 as well, so...
One thing I did notice, I know we talked about the game sharing. One of my fears was, like, if I shared a game with you and you played it, like, what happens to your save data? My fear was that knowing Nintendo would just delete it, but they do have a bullet point that says save data will not be erased when returning virtual game cards.
Okay,
so you will still keep the save data.
It would have been god awful if you lost it, but especially if you wanted to go buy it yourself, it would be a disincentive to not buy it at that point if you just start over, We got more super chats. Thank you. Leia says Pokemon was okay. Yeah, it seemed like that was. I will say, I did like the nighttime feature. Seemed cool. Like where it seems like almost like it has like a nightlife type thing almost.
So they call it what? Something Royale? What was it? It was something Royale. My hope is that it actually has like a multiplayer aspect to it, right? Like you can actually do it with your friends.
Yeah.
Like you go around, because when you think Royale, right, you think of like a lot of people playing at once, and then you're the last one standing, right? So I hope that's a thing that you can do with friends and not just single player.
Right. Alex says good Direct, in my opinion. I'm happy for you, Alex. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's a great thing. Like not everything is for everyone. Some people will appreciate things more. Tomer with another super chat. Thank you, Tomer. I believe says because now two people can play. One with the internet one with the internet, the other without. The good part is that you need not to be confused with main Switch and second Switch. Sure, it's more like physical cards, but it's still e-store depends so bad. I'm not sure if I understand the last part. but I think some people will get use out of the feature, so I'm happy for them, you know? I mean, ultimately, it's more features for us, and that's only a good thing.
Yeah.
So even if I have complaints, it doesn't really amount to much, because, like, yeah, it could be better, but hey, it's more than we had. So, Gail Storm with the super chat. Thank you, Gail. Says, I mistakenly thought you would somehow let you download your digital games onto a blank physical card that you could then share. Oh, well. It was very confusing how they presented that, right? I'm glad I'm not alone. It was very... I mean, it almost looked like how the IQ service worked in China, if anyone remembers that, where you would download games to, like, a physical card, and you would play them that way. Like, you would download them, I think, either through the internet or at kiosks, and then you play it physically. And, yeah, God, I don't know how they kind of really botched the message on that one, I think, so...
Yeah, because they started with showing the physical games first. I'm like, oh man, I can put my physical games on my Switch as digital games.
Right.
Yeah, so Andre, do you think the reason why they brought this feature in so late into the Switch lifecycle is because of the Switch 2? Because they were like, oh, people are going to own the Switch 2 as their second device, or have the Switch 1 as their second device. You'll be able to transfer your Switch 1 games between the two.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. And it makes sense to get that messaging out now, earlier, than, you know, having it conflict with other Switch 2 messages next week. Especially if it was as confusing as this.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I have a discussion coming up with Kid and Krista. I think it might be going up tomorrow, where we talk about Switch 2, and they were talking about, I believe, that, you know, the messaging needs to be clear, and that was not a clear message. No. So let's hope that's not a sign of things to come for next week, but they gotta be on point next week. Doug Fresh Game says, Body Harvest for N64 NSO so people can share my pain, LOL. Wait, what do you mean by your pain? Because it's a hard game? I love Body Harvest. I never beat it. That game was impossible, but it's a great game. Basically a predecessor to Grand Theft Auto, because it was made by the same team, so...
Oh, so it's like a Rockstar game? Or it's just, was that
before? Not Rockstar. It was made by... I think Rockstar bought the team, or... I forget, Chad maybe will correct me. It was like DMA Design or something, and they're the GTA team. Or they were, and they moved... I forget how that worked exactly, but yeah, they were the same guys, so... Doug says the Body Harvest is very hard, but they ended up beating it. Hey, nice, good job. So, Koopa King says this is the way they're getting around the backward compatibility as Switch 2. I'm not sure if I quite understand that.
Oh, so I see what the comment is. I think what they're saying is to get around the backwards compatibility that you would have to share your game to the Switch 2 in that way. Like you wouldn't be, but they already showed in the trailer for the Switch 2. They already show you with Super Mario Wonder. They already show the game cart fitting in both consoles. So yeah. I don't think that's going to be the workaround to it. I think you're just literally going to put the Switch game in the Switch 2, and it's just going to work.
Yeah, I imagine so as well. Valentine, yes, I do want to take a nap. Also, though, I do want to, you know, for our complaints about this entire Direct, shout out to Rhythm Heaven. Huge shock. Yeah. Like, it is next year. That part sucks. But I didn't think this was going to come back. I'm pointing off screen. I didn't think this was going to come back. And that's a really fun surprise. And it's a game that doesn't need to be on Switch too. Like, this is a perfect Switch game, right? So, and it's backwards compatible, of course.
That alongside Tomodachi, both of them are perfectly fine for Switch 1. Yeah, it is shocking that they even said Tomodachi hasn't had a new one in the series for over 10 years. And Rhythm Heaven along that lines too, right? There hasn't been a Rhythm Heaven in such a long time. Maybe one on 3DS, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there was like an exclusive one in Japan or something. But yeah, these two games have not seen a title in the series in such a long time.
Yeah, no, they haven't. So, and they are both new games. Like, yeah. I actually was shocked we didn't see more remasters and ports, which I've kind of personally gotten sick of, even though I was predicting it. So I'm actually kind of happy for that. I mean, we got very few announcements, but at least a few announcements we did get are actual legitimate new games. So, yeah. Well, Nick, do you have any... Oh, wait, hold on. Koopa King says, I think you're going to have to share the games that don't work on the card. I'm not sure if I understand. Maybe, are you... Oh, you're saying... Are they saying for, like, download-only games, maybe? Like, games that aren't, like... I don't know. I'm sorry, Koopa King, I'm not quite sure I understand. But, Nick, any final thoughts about this Direct?
So, my personal favorite thing out of it was actually the Marvel, what was it, Invasion game? Because it's made by the same studio that made the new Turtles, Ninja Turtles game, the beat-em-up. Right. And the same studio that made the, what's it called, Streets of Rage 4. And I love those beat-em-ups. And to see the new tag mechanic in this, I'm not a big Marvel fan, but anything in this style of beat-em-up, it looks amazing. And like I said, there's a team-based mechanic where you can switch between characters on the fly. And that just reminds me of like something like a traditional fighter, like Marvel vs. Capcom, too, which is actually a tag fighter. But yeah, this game looks amazing. What was your favorite?
Favorite game of the Direct?
Yeah.
Biggest surprise, Rhythm Heaven, of course. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the most hardcore Rhythm Heaven fan, but I have a fun time with them all the time. I never expected to come back. So that is my favorite surprise. Metroid Prime, but all things considered, Metroid Prime 4 is a game I'm still personally most excited for. Even if I don't think that was an amazing, follow-up trailer, the world looks beautiful, and and it looks like it's going to have some interesting new wrinkles to the gameplay. So, and I do like the creature design too. Like this is like something entirely new. They almost have like a little bit of an Emmy look to them, from Metroid Dread. And yeah, I'm excited for this. So, I'm hoping we see more next week, including mouse functionality.
Yes.
So look at that background. The background looks sick. That almost looks like a little bit Halo-like almost, which I think isn't a bad thing. So.
Yeah, it does look like a pretty game. It's amazing that this is going to be running on Switch 1.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, retro is always like at the forefront of like graphical power on any console, right? And the Metroid Prime remake looked freaking beautiful, or remaster. It's basically a remake. Yeah. And it's like I legit think not only is it one of the best looking Switch games, like it looks so good. I think you can honestly tell someone who didn't know better that it's an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 game, and they probably believe it. The only part is really lacking is the real-time lighting a bit, but it looks so freaking good. I think most people will buy it. So
I have yet to play it. I need to play it before Metroid Prime 4, so I'll definitely be playing it this year.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Hold on. Tad says show the giant woman again. That part
Oh no.
That part was so funny. Hold on. I'm like, why is it taking so long?
She's like, you need to talk or something. It's so funny.
Did you want to talk?
I will say, even though this is probably one of the worst directs I've seen.
Glad that was only a dream.
That might be one of the single best moments of any direct I can recall in recent memory. That is freaking hilarious. I lost it. That was so funny. I love that. Yeah, anyways, I got a kick out of that. It was just such a surprise. They played it off so well. And it reminded me of, when they had the scenes for the original Tomodachi Life, like with them all chanting around the Virtual Boy,
Yeah.
I think that was...
They're just like dancing like this.
So funny. And they had like Miyamoto there, they had Bill there, I think. They had all kinds of Miis. Yeah, Gage plays if they're happy this game exists. I mean, I may check it out. I mean, I probably will check it out at least.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was fun. So... Anyways, yeah, so a couple surprises, which is good, but overall, not a whole lot else here today. I mean, actually, I guess there were 4 surprises. The 2 new games, which is good. Then the brand new app, which was interesting.
Nintendo Today.
Yeah, and I'll probably do a video on the channel as soon as I can get it. And then the game sharing thing, which is still weird to me and a little confusing, but ultimately a good thing. So, even if it may not affect me much personally. So, all right, anything else, Nick?
No, I think just after seeing this direct makes me more excited for next week because we didn't see really anything that we were expecting. So I really hope that they're saving those heavy hitter games for next week and they're just going to blow us out like, oh my God, here's all the first party games we were expecting.
Right, exactly. So, oh my God, I got to tweet something about this. This is literally like my favorite direct moment.
The giant head.
That was so good. All right, chat, let's get around it for us here. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching us. I don't know fully what all coverage we'll have following this, just considering I was expecting a little bit more today. At the least, we'll cover Nintendo Today and maybe some other things if I decide to. Nick, where can people follow you at?
Yeah, you can follow me on my own personal channel. That's Steftendo, Steftendo. You can go check it out. I post videos over there. If I'm not posting stuff there, I'm posting them here on GameXplain.
I posted, okay, I linked your handle in the chat. It didn't work as a link, unfortunately, but chat...
Oh, did you just tag my name?
Yeah, I just tagged your name like a fool. So check out Steftendo to check out Nick's content, as well as Nick's shorts on our channel. Otherwise, we'll catch you later for the April 2nd Direct, along with our continuing countdown every day leading up to it, including, as I mentioned, surprise guest, not so much a surprise anymore now, Kid and Krista for what I think will be tomorrow's episode. Should be a lot of fun, everyone. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.